Hello, friends. Welcome to What's Going On, your weekly roundtable panel discussion, hangout, whatever you want to call it. My name's Ben. I'm your host, and I have some of my favorite people here tonight. We're all just going to hang out and tell some stories and see what happens. And I want to welcome all of our viewers in the chat, and you're a part of the show as well. We love hearing from you, so go ahead and throw comments, questions, all that stuff in there. We'll throw it up on screen. We'll answer it. It'll be a blast. I got some really, really fun people here tonight. I can't wait to talk to them. I'm going to bring them all out, and they can introduce themselves once they're out here. So welcome to the show, Grace and Kevin and Matt and Tino. What's going on, friends? How are you?
Hello.
What's happening?
Thanks for being on the show. Grace, why don't you introduce yourself to the lovely viewers?
I am Grace. I am on Quarantine Action Wrestling Thursdays at 8 as Claire Bear. I remember to put on a Claire Bear shirt today.
Look at that.
Nice.
Nice.
I am the only QAW wrestler to be holding as many championships at one time. Right now, I think I have 4 or 5. I lost track.
No big deal or anything, but
Who's counting?
That's impressive. We got a bunch of QAW gang in here tonight. We're hanging with some QAW gang for sure. Kevin, what's going on, friend?
Chilling. Yeah. Also, QAW. You can see me there some Thursdays, sometimes. And Rubber Chicken. We had our special here on 2MB, so why not plug them?
Yeah.
So yeah, just that. Now, just chilling. Got a haircut. Here we are.
Nice. And I don't want to give anything away, but fans of yours and Grace's should keep their eye out for some upcoming stuff on the channel.
Well thought.
Yeah, boy.
There's that's what I call a teaser right there.
That is a teaser.
I love it. Tina, what's going on? Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is my first time on this show, which is fun, but you can catch me on other 2MB shows. I'm also on QAW, on which I play a cannibalistic mermaid called the Siren. Although, is it really cannibalism?
Oh, because you're not eating other mermaids.
Yeah,
Right.
unless you're eating other mermaids.
People, not
You're
mermaids.
eating people, then you're just a carnivore.
People
Yeah.
are on the food chain.
Exactly.
One.
So maybe I'm just a carnivorous mermaid. Maybe that's a more benevolent way of expressing my identity. I've been on That Sounds Right. I'm constantly in the chat heckling misinformation for her support of alternative facts.
That's what
and
we're calling.
and I plan on marrying Will, actually. So you know.
Oh, nice. Well, good to-do list there.
Get in line.
Yeah. Will, if you're
Right.
watching this.
I know it's gonna be. We're gonna need our own wrestling competition to figure that one out. So
I see a crossover.
Yeah.
That sounds right in QAW. I love that idea.
I'm honestly surprised that misinformation and Will actually haven't appeared on QAW.
I am
I'm
too.
also surprised.
Maybe
by
that'll
that.
be what comes up after the break, like after the because QAW is going to take a couple weeks off.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We need a battle for facts for the heart of the nation.
Yeah, right.
That's America right there. The battle for
Exactly. I mean, too real.
And Tina, by the end of the show, I want you to decide. I know you don't eat mermaids on the show, but would you eat another mer person? Because then you are a
Would I eat
cannibal.
another mer person.
You're on the side right now.
Well, I could say something very not G-rated, but we won't go there. It's not late enough yet. We've got to wait until 10 o'clock for me to start making sex
We'll
jokes,
get
so.
there.
Nice.
Wrong
Yeah.
show.
30.
I've never been on 69 show, so just saying, consider this
Really?
an audition.
That's
I've
surprising.
never been on 69 show. No.
Well, we'll get you on that show for sure. And in 51 minutes, everybody, we get to hear the dirty jokes. So everybody, set your countdown timers.
There we go.
I love
Tina,
it.
we know the producer of that show. I think we can.
I'm glad that you
put in a
have some
word.
connections,
Yeah.
because I really just have felt like I'm out in the cold. So no.
We will get you.
I
on
love
that show.
I love spectating 69 show, and I love suggesting things for them. So
but it's
fun.
definitely something to step into the circle. I don't know what it is. The
I
square.
tell you what, the
circle
Brady
of
Bunch
life.
Square.
Yeah.
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 That show was a lot harder than than some of the people that play make it look. Right? Like
absolutely.
I was on it the last time they did it, and I was like, damn, this is a challenge.
Oh, Tina, you got.
Well, you were also keeping score, which is
I was keeping score, but even when I wasn't, like that was just an excuse.
Yeah.
It's tough, but it's fun. We'll get you on there for sure.
Love it.
Matt, what's going on, friend?
Hi, friend. Happy to be here as always. I enjoy coming and spending my Tuesday nights. I do Monday mornings and I do Tuesday nights.
It's so
like,
nice.
Those are my.
Those are your days, and I feel like just on from a selfish standpoint, I feel like this is I love it. I love seeing you. So every time you're on the show, I'm like,
this is a good hangout. This is a good Ben and Matt hangout, which we don't get to do a lot these days.
We don't. We're busy boys. But
busy boys.
Busy boys. Hashtag busy boys.
Hashtag busy boys.
Get
it trending.
Yeah.
Tina's on it.
Out there.
I'm on it. You can hear me typing away.
Good. I saw your eyes light up, and I saw you go directly to
the. Anytime that I have an opportunity to hashtag, it just lights up my day.
Yeah. Tina's our hashtag queen.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Great. Well, this show is all about telling stories and hanging out. And we talked backstage, and Grace was very kind and said that she would tell the first story. So, Grace, please. Grace is passing out, perhaps. Nope. I'm just kidding. Slowly fading out. Please entertain us with your first story. Anything at all that you would like to talk about. The floor is yours.
All right. I thought that I would tell the story of how I lost this tooth.
Down on the bottom, back. Yep.
You got it. I just wanted to start with a graphic, visual. I hope that worked out well.
Okay. Quick question though. Are we going to be talking about dentists? Because as people who watch the show know, I have a mortal hatred of dentists.
That's how you keep your teeth.
I promise not to dox any dentists today. Cross my heart.
Wow. My mother's a dental assistant, so I take this personally.
Oof.
Dental assistant.
Yeah.
So I am really bad at going to the dentist. I hadn't gone to the dentist for a very long time. And my tooth was hurting. I knew I had a cavity for a very long time. It was hurting for a while. I was doing the thing where you just kind of drink some whiskey to numb it, and I was good for a little bit, and then it stopped hurting for a while, and it was great. And I was like, oh, it stopped hurting. Wonderful. It's all better. All better. Totally all better.
That's the eye of the storm right there.
Yeah. So I was going to visit my sister in DC. So I'll backtrack a little bit more. So I recently had just got divorced. I went on this kick of I'm going to travel, I'm going to do show, I'm going to go to concerts, blah, 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 blah. So I went to go visit my sister in DC. Before I went to go visit my sister in DC, I went to, the night before, I went to a Matt and Kim concert show. I don't know if anyone knows Matt and Kim. They're super hype, crazy people. And I was raging hardcore. And then I literally had a flight at 5 a.m. I got home at 1 a.m. I was like, all right, let me pack all my shit. Didn't sleep at all. I get to DC. My sister had to work most of the day, so I'm just wandering around DC. I think this is.
Did you say she had to work once a day?
She
had to work
just once a day. Just once a day with everybody.
Answer one email and then you're done.
For about 6 to 8 hours. For once a day.
That's the dream. That's the dream.
She only had to work one day a year, and it was the day I arrived. So no, but I got off the plane, so we couldn't meet up right away. So I'm walking around DC in crazy heat, and I'm okay, I'll go to a museum. I'm going off a couple hours of sleep. We finally meet up. We decide to cool off. We're gonna go to the movies. We really wanted to go see The Quiet Place, so this is when The Quiet Place came out. We go to get tickets. We sold out for the showing that we wanted. So we're all right, that's fine. We'll buy the next showing. We go to a little arcade bar across the way, and we're having drinks, whatever. I think maybe we had been drinking before we met up too. Again, I literally was going off of like no sleep at all. I had just been raging the night before. We're just like in the heat, walking around, pounding drinks. We go finally to the movies. I'm definitely like ready to just pass right out.
Yeah.
We go to the snack bar and I'm like, get all of the snacks. I love going to the movies and just buying like all the popcorn, all the candy, all the soda. Like when I was younger, we always snuck in the snacks. So I'm like, I'm an adult now. I can buy my snacks at the movies. I like to be bougie. You know?
I need to take a brief detour.
Okay. Ready.
So when you first could start getting, remember when you could start making your own bags of snacks? Does anybody remember that? Like it used to be like you could only buy the boxed candy, but now candy would be in like the big containers, and you had like a plastic bag, and you would fill it up, and they would. Yeah.
I've never seen this at the movie.
I take all
I've
the
never seen
candy
movies.
from other stores into the movie theater, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
In
exactly.
New York, where I grew up, it was like a big
this?
thing. They basically had like candy by the, and they would weigh it by the pound or whatever, and it was so like you could mix and match like a whole bunch of different.
That's dope. That's
candies.
dope.
Really dope. Except I was an idiot when it first came out, and I was like, I saw it was like $6.99. It said or something, and I was like, $6.99 for a bag of candy. These guys are fucking idiots. Getting my money's worth, and I filled the bag up like to the top, and it was like
$400.
It was like $147.
That's
And
awesome.
I had to be like, I don't want that. I would like if you to waste all of that candy.
I'd like to return this.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, no.
Like, because I was like a kid, they basically had to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are
love
they
it.
gonna do?
Idiot.
Well, it is kind of on them because they saw a kid filling up a bag to the top. And it's
Yeah.
like they decided to say nothing.
They were like, it's
Fuck
happening.
them.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
what
got
are they gonna do? Like
permission.
hold you in the back hallway and like call your parents and be like, "We're holding your child for ransom until they give us $147."
I do not have $147.
How much? How much is your
You
child
gotta work
worth
it
to
off in
you?
the back.
Yeah.
This is the
So-
plot to the Taken sequel.
Straight taken.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Liam
Oh,
Neeson.
Eat
So
all
that
the
was
gummy
my
bears.
problem with snacks.
Yeah.
But you got your snacks, no
Okay, you
problem.
got your
Grace.
snacks.
You got all of them.
Snacks, no problem. Possibly I spent $100. I don't remember 100%.
Right. You had been
We're
drinking
getting
in the
popcorn.
summer
We're
there.
getting Raisinets. We're getting the biggest soda you can get because I probably didn't eat that day either. Just like, let's go. I was just like hyped. Let's eat lunch of junk food now at the end of the day. We go into the theater. As you all know, The Quiet Place, that movie has no sound at all.
I have not seen A Quiet Place, so thank you for ruining that for me.
I mean, it is called A Quiet Place.
Yeah. The trailer for Quiet Place Part 2 has already ruined the first movie for me.
It has no sound. Get in the theater. I'm like half asleep, just like munching on popcorn really loudly in the most quietest theater ever. And my sister's like, Grace, shut up. You're so loud. I was like, what? I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to follow the movie. Like, it's so quiet. I definitely
What's
felt
happening?
She was definitely like elbowing me because there's no sound in theater. Everybody's so into this movie. Like the theater's also packed. There's no sound in this theater. There's no sound in this movie. And it's just me like obnoxiously munching on popcorn, like half awake, half asleep. Okay. I fall asleep because it's the quietest movie ever. Clearly didn't keep my attention as much. I wake up at like the most intense part of the movie. I won't spoil anything, but it's like the height of the movie, right?
The quietest part of the movie.
Quiet. It's the most shit.
This was
someone
I won't
going-
spoil
the
anything.
quietest part.
I can't wait to see it.
The most intensely quiet part of the movie, okay? I wake up and I literally am just like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? But I also feel like I have a kernel stuck in my tooth, okay? I have a kernel stuck in my tooth. So I'm like rubbing the side of my tooth. I'm like, I think I got a kernel in my tooth. And then I realized that I'm actually missing half of my tooth. And I swallowed my half of my tooth while eating the popcorn. And I start freaking out because I'm like, Gloria, I lost half of my tooth. I was like, and she's like, Grace, shut up. Shut up. She's like, there's no sound. The most intense part of the movie, like, I could have played it off like I'm freaking out about the movie, I guess, but literally like nobody's making that. Everybody's just staring at me, and I was like, holy shit! Like I couldn't concentrate on the rest of the movie. I was like, I lost. She's like, it's okay. Like she's calming me down about that. Like
here's the thing: if your tooth was rotten enough to just fall apart, the nerve was dead, so you were probably okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plus side.
That was the precursor to when I was like, it just didn't hurt anymore. It's because that nerve definitely died. It died. And
That's like
up.
when your appendix bursts. It's a real bad sign.
It's just like
if you
that.
go from having a lot of pain to having no pain, because that means that it burst and all of the pressure was released.
Oh.
Which means there's now like festering pus all around your insides.
I mean, that could have happened as well. I don't know.
Tooth appendicitis.
I ate half of my tooth. I was freaking out because that never happened before in my life, obviously. I was still freaking out as we were leaving. I was like still like half asleep, like very exhausted. My sister's trying to calm me down. She's like, our whole family has bad teeth. Like she's like, it's totally normal. Like our teeth fall out. And I was like, really? I was like, that's right. I was like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Yeah. Eventually, I went to. I mean, I could add on to another story of going to Tufts Medical to try to like have a good thing for it. But that's how I lost my tooth. Basically, I ate half of it in the quietest movie theater ever. Waking up at the part where I had no idea even where I was, and discovered that I swallowed half of my tooth. It was.
Have you subsequently seen?
What?
Have you subsequently seen the movie again, like sober or no?
No, I can't. I think I'm traumatized.
We'll have to watch it together.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous to watch it again.
Or you should just watch the second one now and see if you lose another tooth, because that would be freaky.
Because I haven't gone to the dentist again since I got my tooth pulled.
I haven't been to the dentist since like 2017, so I feel you. I mean, it happens when you're at that point in your life and your health insurance is shitty, and you're like, you know what? Unless I'm dying, I'm not going to risk it, because they're going to tell you that it costs $4,000. You know, and
half my wisdom teeth are in. Like half my wisdom teeth are in, and every once in a while it'll hurt for like 3 days, and then it'll stop hurt. Like I'll have the worst headache for like 3 days, and the backs of my gums will be all swollen, and I'll just be like, man, it's just how it is. I'm not getting my wisdom teeth out. I'm 40. 45 years old. I'm keeping them.
Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I was saying that I have the same issue. My mom works for a dentist, and I don't go to the dentist because I can't. Like my wisdom teeth are fucked up back there. It's crazy.
Well, I got all 4 of mine out at once, which I do not recommend. This was in like college.
Huh.
Yeah,
that
this feeds into my like severe fear of dentists, because like I already had like horrible fear of dentists from how shitty this dentist was that I had as a kid.
I thought you were gonna say
just like.
No. So I can tag on a mini dentist story how I tried to get it fixed.
Okay.
I decided to go to Tufts. Okay, which I also got my wisdom teeth pulled.
Tina, hold up your hand if you are having too much trouble, and Grace will stop talking.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to stop?
No, we're fine. I'm actually totally fine. It's just a running joke now.
mini story. So when I got my teeth pulled at Tufts, the only other girl that was there was in hand and feet shackles, brought in by police officers, same age as me, a college kid. And I was like, all right. And I decided I was going to die getting my wisdom teeth, because they go over the whole list. So I just accepted death. I woke up and I was like, I'm alive. That's my mini story. But I was like, I'll go back to Tufts because I faced death there. I'll go back to Tufts. I go there and it was horrible. They like have 7 people in your mouth, because it's like the teacher is cleaning, then the students, and like some guy to take like the mold of it. The guy literally is, instead of just putting the thing in your mouth to hold, it's 2 separate pieces, and he was holding both of them for like 5 minutes in my mouth, not saying a goddamn word the whole time. And I was like, well, this is great. Then I go get x-rays, and they just put a lead thing on top of me, and this giant it looked like a
Yeah.
giant laser from an evil
And
villain
then you have to
movie.
hold the
And they run
film
out of
thing
the
in
room
your
real quick,
mouth,
just
and it
put
like
against
cuts
my
into
head.
your fucking cheek.
Yeah. I was like, what is this? I was like, it took weeks too. So eventually I was just like, hey, does anybody know a dentist? And my friend at work was like, go to this guy. I go to the guy. He's like, yeah, we can take care of that. Well, and also Tufts was like, we got to put an implant. They're going to charge me thousands and thousands of dollars. The guy's like, we got you. You want it taken out tomorrow? Great. Done. Little just quick picture of
There are
like,
two types of dentists in the world for sure. There are the dentists who are like, we're going to fix everything and we're going to make it look beautiful. And then there are dentists who are just like, you want that tooth out of your fucking mouth? We can get that tooth out of your mouth. And that's the
Let me go find a doorknob. Quick,
yeah, that's
come
the
here,
kind
I'll
of
tie
dentist
some
I
finger on it.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was so great. He's like, you don't need an implant. He's like, I don't know what they're doing. He's like, you can pull it. You're fine. You're fine. We'll take care of you tomorrow. I was like, great, awesome. I was like, this is what I needed, not the like traumatizing or like being shot by an X-ray laser thing. Like, it was so bizarre, so bizarre. So that was my story, and I haven't been back to the dentist since. So hopefully these ones stay in my mouth.
I have an implant right here that actually you can see it's not there because it fell out during quarantine. Like the implant fell out, and I was like, I'm not going to the dentist during quarantine. Like,
yeah, go stand there with your mouth wide open.
Like the best day. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just let the dentist sprinkle COVID straight onto your tongue. Like, little of this.
And so now it's opened
like
up
the tooth
again.
Fairy, the tooth fairy. But
it's opened up, and people are like, and I'm like, I guess I should go back to the dentist, but I haven't yet. Still just a hole right in the front of my mouth, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I will say, when I did go to Tufts, they were all like, wow, you have amazing teeth. You have really beautiful teeth. And I felt like a movie star. They're like, you have really shiny, nice teeth. And I was like, thank you. Oh my God.
I think it's because they usually get like meth. Like,
they usually get people in shackles.
Yeah.
Don't bring me down, man. I have great teeth. I could be a teeth
You have great teeth, Grace.
Colgate's on the phone. Hold on.
Our first sponsorship. Gotta reel in those brand name sponsors.
Pretty good for number one.
There we go. There we go. Get up in that camera.
My eyes. Jesus.
That is a good smile.
I need
That is
sunglasses.
a good smile. All right, Kevin, there's a lot to jump off from there. We could talk about injuries, losing body parts or breaking body parts, or perhaps movie shenanigans and anything like that.
I was honestly going off the corn thing because, like, I honestly had no idea what I was going to talk about. I forgot about the whole story thing. I was like, we're all going to hang out. Here we are. But what you reminded me of this time when I was like in the 8th grade, me and my cousin, somewhere just in my grandmother's house in Charlestown, this 1-floor like little home in this apartment, fucking hot as fuck, and just like it was warm. It wasn't sexy. Like I didn't want to get that.
You're like, Grandma knew how to keep it hot.
And we were just like, we were eating popcorn for whatever reason, just started throwing at each other, like cousins do.
Well,
and fighting and wrestling and whatever, and then somehow a popcorn kernel just makes its way like into my ear.
Oh.
Yeah, and it took a turn for the worse at that point. You know, it was fun for a while, just throwing popcorn, getting all buttery. It was great. And
it's all fun and games until you get a kernel in the ear hole,
so then,
and then it's all over.
Yeah, my entire family's also just like downstairs at some point because it's like a 2-family house, but both of the families are related. It's a whole thing. No one lives there now. They're all dead now, but that's beside the point. But not all of them.
It has nothing to do with the corn.
Yeah. Anyway, the popcorn. So
and that corn catastrophe.
Corn catastrophe.
Yes.
You heard it here. All right. And so we're doing that. So I go downstairs. I'm like, hey, this happened. David did this. And so people are just like, oh no, we'll get that out. So they're just like sticking their fingers in my ears and shit. And they're just like, they just like keep on pushing it lower and
further
lower.
and further in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What's going on? And they're like, shit. We have to go to the hospital. So we have to go to Mass Eye and Ear. And we're sitting there for hours. What was probably like to me like 6 hours.
You just walk in, you're like, ear.
Yeah, you're like,
you go this
here.
way.
And we're like, go sit over there with those other idiots.
Mouth.
All right.
Mouth.
Oh, you're in the wrong place, sir.
Oh.
Yeah, just sitting there and Grey's Anatomy's on, and I don't like Grey's Anatomy, but I have to watch it. And it's there.
That's an
And my mom
ironic
just like
thing to
sitting next
have
to me,
on
just like,
in the
yeah, what
waiting
the
room
fuck
of the
is going
ER.
here? And so we see one doctor, and then they're just like, oh, we'll get this out. So speaking of dentists, they get like a dental hook looking thing, like one of those sorts of tools where it's like a little bit rounded, but it's mostly a hook. And they're digging that in my ear, and they just dig it deeper and deeper into my ear. And they're medical professionals, and
Aw.
that's fucked up. And they're just scratching my ear, and it's terrible. And so we're just like, we don't know what to do. We're just chilling here in the hospital. They're like, we'll figure it out.
When you just said I was almost like, long story short, still got corn in my ear. It's still there.
What?
It just grew around his eardrum, just like encased it.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those trees
you
that like
can-
grows
Once in a
around
while
the
I hear
roadside.
Yeah. I'm the corn boy.
Every now and then,
The
it just
ghost
pops
of
out
the
his ear.
corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. The children of the corn inhabit his
Then
auditory
we get a
canal.
serious headache, and then it just pops,
Yeah.
and it's just released.
Just chilling there, and I just hear in my head, Daylander! Sorry, it's Outlander.
I was another
Outlander.
two because I eat that piece of popcorn.
And then festering pus.
Yeah.
Pus just
That's
issues
the
for.
best.
Everywhere.
Sorry, bringing it back. Bringing it
Sorry,
back.
so they're pushing it further into.
Yeah, so it's still in my ear. They're pushing it further. They're scratching my ear up. And so they send me back out to Grey's Anatomy land. I'm just sitting there mad. And like I'm in the
Is it
eighth
affecting
grade.
your hearing? Can you?
It was weird. It was like kind of like if your ears won't pop, that sort of
Mhm.
feeling in one ear, which I get all the time now. I don't know if it's like a side effect of what happened.
Phantom kernel, yeah.
Yeah, and it's terrible. I'm just like, well, this is gonna be here forever. I'm never getting out of this hospital, and I'm still here. No. And then this other doctor comes in, and he's like, all right, let's see this. And he takes out a vacuum, puts it in my ear, immediately gets the kernel out. And he's like, all right, go home.
Yeah.
And that took a minute, like 2 minutes.
That doctor was so pissed that they paged him from wherever he was.
Yeah, that fucking sucked. Anyway, thanks
That
for
doctor was taking a
that,
nap.
Grace.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he may have been doing something else in the on-call room, but that would probably make him more
Whatever.
angry.
I was a kid. I didn't
Speaking
know.
of Grey's Anatomy,
Exactly.
Did it affect your hearing long term? Or no?
What?
You okay?
What?
Hey, that's my joke, Kevin.
did the guy look like Zach Braff?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Is this an
He
episode?
was
of
researching
Scrubs?
a role. Yeah,
You know what?
exactly.
It
He
was an episode of
doing that
Scrubs. You're right, Matt. Yeah, that never
Do you
happened. I lied about the whole thing.
I've never asked any of my doctor friends this, but do you think doctors are as randy as every doctor show?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like half of my friends are doctors, and absolutely,
saying they
they're
work, like,
fucking
crazy
in on-call
hours.
rooms like
Yeah.
all the time.
Like,
Because like half the time they can't leave the hospital.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
So that
It
just
sounds
coming
makes
in
it
and
really
just blow off steam.
really stressful job. So you
Yeah.
need like a release
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I think all
Oh
of them.
man. Oh,
Doctors be
For
fucking.
sure.
doctors be
Doctors be
fucking.
fucking.
There's
Be fucking.
there's a weird early 80s, right? Like remember in early 80s, like skin flicks, like they were a dime a dozen. None of them, they have not aged well at all. They're like Revenge of the Nerds and Zapped and
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bunch of TNA like comedies. There's a one from the hospital called Young Doctors in Love. And I don't even remember anything about it other than the fact that there was nudity in it. And like as an 11-year-old boy or 12-year-old boy or whatever, I thought it was like the greatest fucking thing. You know what I mean? I was like it was like one of the late night HBO movies, like back in the day. And so, yeah, that's, the doctors have always been randy, right? I feel like ever since I can remember, doctors have been randy.
Agreed.
There wouldn't be as many doctor shows with that as a plot line if it weren't real. Young Doctors in Love. Here
Let's
we
do
go.
this.
Look at that beard. That's like a
yes.
Love Doctor beard
is
right there.
the-
That's
this is
full
the-
on Chris
Oh.
Kaufman beard.
This is the trailer.
This is the trailer for the 1982 classic
82.
Young Doctors in
Yes,
Love.
I was like 8. That's
man,
probably
I-
Here we go.
I was -8. We were born equidistant,
This
far
is
away
super low.
from the
We-
release
yeah.
of this movie.
We're just kind of watching it because the sound is just super low.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Of course. Why is there a
Here,
goose?
take this.
This was
Here,
hilarious.
have this goose. It's like Untitled Goose Game all over. Don't tell Ryan Daly.
Oh,
Oh, there's a shooting because America.
well, when you can't fuck, you gotta shoot.
You gotta shoot. You fucker,
Wow.
you shoot. It's the only way.
Oh my god, this movie looks amazing.
Wow.
Very
You know what? It might have been really good. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got that guy in it. Like the weird guy. I love him.
Oh
Oh
shit!
my
This
gosh.
is cool as possible.
This looks
Okay.
like something that like Leslie Nielsen would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like the Naked Gun.
It's like
Some
Airplane.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that type of movie, but it's
Yeah.
I don't quite remember it being quite as
Oh,
much
it's
a
like Jason
parody.
Statham with hair.
But I literally have seen this. This is like I've seen this like 35 years ago.
Oh no!
Oh no,
Is
The
that
one
Michael
got
McKean?
away.
it is
That's
Michael.
Michael McKean.
Yep.
Oh man, this is probably really
And there was a
good.
boom mic in the
Chris
shot.
Gethard-
Oh.
Wow. Classy.
I watch this.
These doctors are probably terrible.
That guy on the left there was a big star for a little while.
Uh huh. He really was. Yeah. So is he.
Oh, they were still alive and having sex.
Crazy.
Oh,
it's all-
That's cute.
okay.
This is wonderful.
Picking up a
I
lot.
love how that card just collapsed.
Man.
Definitely.
Classic.
I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Classic.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like we need to do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type of
What?
situation.
So.
Put the whole movie on here, Matt. We'll do it.
Yeah, that'll be
We will
a whole nother stream.
We will get taken down so fast, but it would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll do a subscriber only event.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a
Maybe
very,
if it's on Amazon Prime, we could do a watch party.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea where you would find that movie, but man, that really took me back right there.
Yeah.
That looks
YouTube.
great. That looks amazing. I want to be in that movie. I'm gonna literally just.
You want to do a
I
remake
mean, it's
of that
about
movie?
time. I was going to say, it's about time for a remake. You know, we're coming up on what, 40 years? We're coming up on 40 years, and I think we need to do a remake. 40th anniversary
Damn time.
reboot.
Could
Yeah.
not agree more.
Making it. It's happening.
It's happening. Keep
In
on the
fact,
lookout, everyone.
in fact, we've got MLab in the chat. MLab, what would you say to a Young Doctors in Love musical?
Ooh.
I think a young.
I am so here for it.
Yeah. So
So
In
here
that-
for it.
Probably singing.
I've never seen a TNA musical before.
there's a Debbie Does Dallas musical.
What?
It's
Oh.
on Spotify. Look it up. It's not bad. Like it plays into that campy 70s porno kind of thing, right? But the music's actually pretty catchy.
Nice. Is
I
there a
need to
trailer
check
for
this
that?
out.
I only like campy musicals, like the real, like they know that they're a musical and we're making fun of it.
So
They're like,
look up Debbie Does Dallas the musical. There's a bonus track at the end where it's just all of them making coming sounds. Like all they do is just make
Just
orgasm
out-
sounds.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
each
We're like, we need
character
some
taking
B-roll
turns.
just,
yeah,
you know.
and it's just them making
That's
orgasm sounds. It's
I'm
the
gonna
funniest
need
fucking thing.
you to step into the studio and just
Let
cover the
loose.
microphone
Just
for me.
Let loose.
Wonderful.
Do your best.
Is it for the movie?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's for the movie.
MLab's on it.
Draft by Dawn, by the way, is the sequel.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody get MLab some Adderall. And,
Easy.
let's get a
Perfect.
musical. Oh, look at that!
What? Why isn't MLab on this
Whoa.
show? We should get MLab in here. Send
Get
her
MLab in the studio.
Yeah, why?
You know what, MLab? I'm going to send you the link right now on your
get in here, MLab.
messenger, and you're going to come in here because you deserve to
Tell
be
us
here.
about Debbie
Agreed.
Does
And you're going to
Agreed.
give us an exclusive performance of Debbie Does Dallas.
Our special guest.
Yes.
Our special guest. This is a
Cam
true
Lab.
Cam Lab.
I love it.
Aw.
You know, we just make it so that everybody watching the stream is then in the stream.
Eventually in the
That's,
stream.
you know,
Yeah.
we're like below a certain threshold. Just get in here. Get
I
in
saw an
here.
Andrew WK video like that the other day. It was awesome.
We just keep adding people until everybody that's in the show is in the stream, and then
Yeah.
when more people come in, we cycle people out.
Exactly.
that
Well,
idea.
then we need to have a competition and vote people
It should be
out.
like a
God.
marathon stream, like how they
Yeah,
do.
it's a
the-
relay. A relay. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get donations. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's
this is
do it.
I think we're just brainstorming ideas for our
What do you
next
think
big-
the
our
best
next big show.
80s like if we made an 80s movie that we all grew up with, or 90s movie for some of us, but like a teen movie that we were going to make it into a cheesy musical, like Goonies is like the
Yeah.
first thing, that
Goonies
comes
is
to
good.
mind, right?
Weird
Sandlot.
Science.
I would be down for Sandlot.
Oh, Sandlot would be good.
Sandlot.
Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's would be
surprised- I'd be
great.
surprised
You
if
just
that
have
wasn't a
one
musical
character, one character who just never
Awesome.
sings. They just
Blank Check the musical, guys.
Blank check.
I love
I
it.
watched that recently.
This isn't my idea. I saw it somewhere online, but somebody was saying it's the perfect environment and atmosphere for a reboot of Weekend at Bernie's, because if you think about like the idea of like two basically like hourly workers or workers who are just like slave, grinding, and they their boss, who's this bigwig who doesn't care about them, dies, and they basically pretend he's still alive to live the big life for it's like
Yeah.
Yep.
a big, it could be a big
Very
thing.
of the moment. Very
That's
of
the
the
dream.
moment right
Yeah.
now.
Gary
please
Oldman.
welcome- please
Gary
welcome to
Oldman
the
is
show.
Bernie.
M-Lab, everybody.
Crazy.
Hang on, let me turn Twitch off.
Get in here.
Love it. We love to see it.
Tell us about Debbie Does Dallas the musical.
Oh boy. Well, it sure got camp, so it's right up Grace's alley. It's stupid. It's
Did you do it in college or?
I did it after college. It was this like community theater production up in New Hampshire,
I
but like
love
some
that.
people from college like started this production company. So yeah, it was a post college production.
And who did you play?
I played, oh my God, what was her name? I think her name was Amy. I was like Debbie's rival. I was the slutty one.
I've never
The
seen Debbie Does
slutty
Dallas. Is
one!
Debbie not the slutty one? She does
No,
Dallas.
No,
she's
Dallas.
a good girl.
Yeah, Debbie's. Yeah,
Really? I've not seen Debbie Does Dallas. I don't know the plot.
come on, Ben.
I'm sorry. I've never seen
We were born in the late '70s.
I can tell you, I will go on Pornhub later and watch it, but I have not seen it yet. So I'm sorry.
So no spoilers. No
no
spoilers.
spoilers. What happens?
She achieves at the climax of the musical.
Yeah.
She achieves her goal of it's pretty self-explanatory, Ben. I can't.
So she does. She orgasms. Is that her goal, or is her goal to do
It's-
Dallas?
It's artistically done. It's honestly, it's pretty convoluted, but you just gotta watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to
I
find
put the
love.
link. I put the link to the album in the chat, so you can
Yeah, give it a listen. The music is
head
actually
over
really good.
It is. That's the thing. The music is hilarious.
I will give it a view. Though I feel like, having not seen the original, I don't know whether it will play. I mean, I guess it will.
I had not seen the original.
You don't need to see the source material. I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I'll be
fact-
the judge of that. Thank you.
It's kind of like how there's a Human Centipede musical, and I've seen that, but I have
Oh,
not
yeah.
seen Human Centipede.
That's the dream.
There's a Human Centipede musical.
Yeah, some kids from Emerson did it.
Oh god, that makes sense though.
Are any of the songs mumbled by the person in the middle of the centipede?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because
Now, I'm thinking from like an experimental art context, there's actually a lot that you could do with feedback to like take it and make it really just elevate it, make it meta in a lot of ways. I would produce it.
I'd like to see that more than I'd like to see. I tried to watch the movie and I had to fast forward my way through it.
I've never seen it.
I can't even begin to watch it.
Good.
It was not good.
And it wasn't even like it was so bad it's good. It was just not good.
It was the best movie about a human centipede up until the sequel. I'll say that. Like, the sequel's fucking crazy. Human Centipede 2 is really the thing you got to see, people, if you haven't. Like, I don't want to talk too much about it.
About human centipedes.
Well, the sequel is a really fucked up idea.
Yeah.
The sequel is that there's a dude who watched the first movie and loved it and was like, I can do that. So he tries to make his own human centipede, but he's not a doctor like the original guy. So shit goes horribly wrong because he's not a doctor, right? It's way more fucked up than the
security guard or something, right? Yeah.
He's a
so
security
just
guard.
Festering pus everywhere.
And we're back to festering pus.
Festering pus.
Bring it around.
Festering
We
pus.
love a good callback. We love a good callback.
That's comedy, folks.
We've got signage. Wow.
Yeah, Matt's got.
This is a classy
That's
production.
what happens when you. I realized I've got paper and a Sharpie in front of me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Go to town. Go to town.
Sometimes I think about the person who got cast as like the person in the middle, or even just the last person, and they like have to tell their family, like, good for them because they're a working actor, and like, who the fuck are we? But at the same time, like, that's a tough credit to take, right?
Yeah.
To be like, I'm the one who gets their ass sewn to the guy's mouth, and then I shit in it. It's you gotta see it.
But you gotta see it. You just gotta.
The blockbuster, the feel-good movie of the summer. It makes you feel good because you're like, at least I'm not that guy.
That sucks.
Correct.
Whew,
Was
yeah.
the musical good? Emma? Was the musical good?
Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Okay.
Which, made it palatable. Yeah.
Right.
Unlike being in the middle of a centipede, not palatable. But there was like a list song sung by the crazy doctor about how he's going to sew them together.
Oh, man.
Love a good list song.
It's like instead of like the shoulder bones connected to the elbow.
It was very scientific.
Oh no!
What kind of
the sphincters connected to them? I don't know.
What kind of stage magic was used to make the centipede? Because I would assume lips and asses were not. Right? We're fucking acting here. So how do you build a?
I think there was some sort of like. Like, so they were all like on their hands and knees, but there was like some sort of like barrier on either side of them that just, sort of like blocked your ability to see whether or not their mouths were actually on one another's asses. But yeah, it was tastefully done.
You could do it with like a scrim and do like almost like puppets where they look as it's like shadowed. Yeah, it'd be very, very tasteful.
Look, everyone.
Do a puppet show. A human centipede
They're
puppet
college.
show.
They're in a performance school. They're breaking.
Look, as your director, I won't make you do anything you don't want to do. So we could use scrims, which is fine, or it could be fucking awesome. It's up to you. Up to you. Scrims it in.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis didn't use a scrim. Okay, he ate that ass.
Yeah, he would never.
That ass.
My other question: was this a student-run thing, or was it literally like the professor was like, "We are making this musical," or the students were like, "We're doing this because we're so progressive," or like, "We think this will be so funny." Do you remember?
Sorry, what was the question?
Was it student? Was it a student-based production, or did like a teacher be like, "We are making this show, young people now do this.
Get on board.
Now
Train
add
those
to
stations.
some mouths.
Production. It was most certainly a student production. I think it was like they have like Grace. You know how we had like STE at Salem State?
Yeah.
It was like their STE.
Yeah.
Okay,
Be like,
good.
Professor
That-
Johnson, we need to talk to you about your
This is my vision.
your recent production.
I don't know why.
Oh, man.
This is my dream.
I can't imagine.
We're gonna
I
need you to
can't
pack your
imagine
things.
What would be
I hope it was somebody's
objectionable in this
thesis.
production. It's like they're getting their PhD and it's a musical. Your PhD is just your defense. Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, Kevin's story about another tooth issue. Or no, popcorn.
Yeah,
We
it was
let
an ear thing, but it didn't
The
matter.
popcorn
It
in
didn't
the
matter
ear.
where it
Well, it's popcorn in the ear, not tooth. Not tooth.
I got popcorn.
Led to so much. That was such a weird meandering discussion, Kevin. I forgot where we started.
Grace and I look so much alike that you thought our stories were the same.
Well, they both had to do with popcorn going in disastrous places, either in a broken tooth or into an ear. Neither one is good. But then, really, God, that led to such crazy places. I love that.
What a rich panoply we have here. I love it.
Tina, so jumping off of that, anything you'd like to share with us?
You know, I had a story all prepped up to tell, but given the tenor of the conversation, I think I'm going to have to tell the story about how I got into filming porn in LA.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to tell that story.
And I'm like, oh my God, should I even like talk about this on a stream that's going to be recorded?
Yes.
No, it's fine.
This is
Sex
not being
work
recorded.
is work.
This is- yeah.
Sex work is work. And
100%.
I absolutely 1,000% support sex workers. So I owned a production company, a small production company in Southern California when I was in grad school, because we got paid like $12,000 a year as PhD students, which like you cannot live off of. So like all of us had other jobs. So I started like doing photography and filming and audio engineering for like all of my colleagues' performances, because there wasn't anybody who was like doing video editing and stuff at that point. So I was like, sure, one-stop shop. So of course, like nobody had any money. So probably about 6 months in, I went up to LA for a gig and I was in town. And one of my friends was like, hey, I know this other person that needs a videographer. I know you're already up here for the weekend. So like, can you fill in for this shoot? And I'm like, sure. Like what? I thought it was a concert because I was doing a lot of arts documentation and like experimental filmmaking and stuff. So I was like, sure. Like what's it? Like, what's the deal with it? And my friend was like, oh, it's performance art. It's like some avant-garde like performance art. I'm like, sure. Okay. Sounds good.
Were they lying to you, or did they believe that?
Unclear. I
Okay.
think that they may have been kind of so head in the clouds that they could have seen a case made for that being like experimental performance art. But really what it was like straight up porn. So I drive out to this house, like out in East LA, Inland Empire. You know, basically they just rent these giant McMansions that are fully furnished. And I show up and I'm like, oh no!
Like,
I know
did you
what this
know
is.
going in, like, yeah, as you like came up the driveway?
When I saw the address, I was like, and I saw that it was not like a performing arts hall, and it was just like a McMansion in this very desolate development out in kind of the desert. I was like, all right, I know what's happening. But I was like, I needed the money. I didn't even have enough money for gas to drive back to San Diego. At the time I was living in San Diego and I was kind of going back and forth between San Diego and LA for work. So I was like, well, I need the gas money and they'll pay cash.
Work.
Work is work. Exactly. So I show up and I've got all my gear and I walk in and it's very clearly an adult film set. And I'm like, all right, well, this is a new experience. This is not something I've ever done before.
Than they're used to somebody having? Like, did you?
Yeah. Well,
like,
the other thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is like pretty much no one in the LA adult film industry has ever worked with a female cinematographer. So they were just kind of like, what are you doing here? Like, I guess the other person had, I don't know. I think they'd like given them my phone number. I don't even know if they had my name. Kind of people don't really give their names out. So it's not like.
So you were straight up shooting the porn?
Oh yeah. I owned a production company, so I had like all the camera gear. So I was behind the camera. No, I wasn't on screen.
I knew you weren't on screen.
I'm not that talented.
I knew you weren't on screen, but I was wondering whether you did sound. No, but you were literally the person.
I was doing sound and video.
Right,
Yeah. And what was awesome was that the female talent were actually so excited about it because they were like, I've never been in a situation where I've had a woman filming this. It's always been a dude behind the camera. And they're like, this is actually really empowering. And they're like, I trust you. They're like, I don't even know you, but I trust you like so much more than anything. You know? So
then that guy who tries to shove his cock down my throat every time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the guy who just like wants to get in on the action. So it was actually a really wonderful, empowering experience. And then, of course, like once a few people have had a really positive experience, they start, giving your contact information out. Yeah. So again, as a really, really destitute graduate student, I was like, hey, as a feminist, I feel like I'm doing good work, and I ended up getting to work with female directors, which was really exciting. So there was a lot of like really good,
this might be going too far, but what are some of the films that you worked on?
I'm not.
But I want to watch them. I want to watch your work.
Them to us?
I don't actually, to be honest, like I don't actually know where, like what became of it. Like basically you send it off to the client.
And to watch a porn and be like, my friend shot this.
Look at these.
I'll do some digging and I'll see if I can find. I'll see if I can find something
in it. Then we can put in search terms through Pornhub. Like we'll figure it out. We're all gonna watch them anyway. Might as well be supporting them.
But it's a very high production value. Amazing lighting. I also did the lighting. And I'm just like, I'm sick and tired of watching like shitty porn that has terrible lighting, no story, like bad production value. So anyway, there are a lot of really great outfits out there doing like really high production value stuff that's like, empowering to everyone involved, regardless of gender. So anyway, that's my experience filming porn in LA.
Let's write a musical about this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down.
Tina does LA.
Tina does LA.
So that reminded me of we rented a house in LA for New Year's 2 years ago. There were like 8 of us, and it was this gorgeous place, and it was the same thing. We showed up, and I was like,
"This is absolutely."
I was like, "This is a porn house." Like,
absolutely,
it was a house, and then there was a pool out back, and then there was. This is when I really knew it gets so much sketchier, y'all. I went upstairs to there's the upstairs, and then there was also like a little upstairs off the main living room, and that was just a workout room. But by workout room, it had like one workout bar. It had 2 of those big inflatable balls, what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And mirrors across like all the walls. And I was just like,
mirrors are great for a good focus pull,
And there was a suitcase, and inside the suitcase, I swear to fucking God, were blank credit card slips and blank fucking passports. Just like,
whoa,
fucking God.
That's all right. That's way more off the book than anything.
Yeah, we were like, what is going on in this house? But it was a dope house. We stayed there for like a week. But it was clearly people just rent this house, and somebody had left this bag here, and I was just like, this is the sketchiest fucking shit.
Oh yeah,
that's super sketch. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we did not take them.
I was going to say you spent the week making passports.
And then he went to Mexico.
It's something that's so sketchy. You're like, I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know what I mean? It's not like
looking for things.
Yeah, people will come looking for that shit.
That's true. You don't want that in your trunk.
Yeah, that's a Simple Plan kind of thing,
Simple Plan. What a great movie. If nobody's seen that.
That was the one with Billy Bob Thornton, right? Where they Bill Paxton.
And Bill Paxton and
Helen Hunt? No.
Is it Helen Hunt or is it Bridget Fonda?
I just thought of the band
Tony.
But it's basically like brothers who find a drug plane that has gone down in the woods, and they decide to keep the money that they find on the plane.
Oh, Danny Elfman
It's like-
did the music
It's
for that
like
movie.
it's like Cocaine Bear. The new,
It
the
was, in
soon-to-be
fact,
released
Bridget
the
Fonda.
Cocaine Bear.
Nice.
The Cocaine Bear movie. Oh,
It
man.
is like the Cocaine Bear movie, but sad.
That's a movie I'm looking forward to.
Speaking
Yeah, it is
of-
sad. I feel bad for the bear.
Oh,
Have you all seen the documentary Legend of Cocaine Island on
No.
Netflix?
Tell me about that.
No.
no.
This is one of the coolest fucking documentaries.
All right, this is Matt's story now. Matt, you're up.
Yes, here we go.
Well, I don't want to tell the story because I don't want to ruin the movie. Like, I feel like you should.
I will
see
watch
the-
it. I will literally
Yeah.
go watch it right after this.
I'll watch it right after Quiet.
I mean, it's about this dude who is like, he looks like your dad, right? Like he's a Florida native, so he's like this older, bigger, tan dude he wears Hawaiian shirts and cargo shorts and flip flops, right? Or some sort of sandal, right? And he's like,
This is
he's
my
like,
dad. This is me. Uh-oh.
he's like the guy that goes to the I don't know, the VFW hall, right? Like, and sits and drinks with people. But anyway, he meets this dude and he tells him this story about like this huge bag of cocaine that has been buried in Cuba. Okay. And he's like, hey, I know the people that did it. I know exactly where it is. Like, it's here. There's like, it's some like ridiculous amount of money worth of cocaine buried in it. And this is a dude, remember, this is your dad, right? And your dad starts thinking, I could get that cocaine. Right? Dad's like, I could get, like, I know a guy that has a plane and we're close to Cuba, so we could fly to Cuba really easily and get that cocaine and bring it back, and then no one would know, right?
And then I'm
And then how do you sell it though? I feel like distribution is going to be your
that's the
next
hard
big
part.
problem.
That's the hard
Yeah.
part.
But so say your dad goes and finds a dude that he's like, he Googles, where can I find a guy to sell cocaine? And he goes to the
Not
bar.
suspicious at all. Like,
He
the
goes to the
FBI
bar.
is not going to pick up on that at all.
This is your dad. Your dad doesn't know this. Your dad's doing his best. This is also in the like, I think it's in. Oh man, I want to make sure I get my facts straight.
I was going to say, is it pre-internet or post-internet?
I gotta
'Cause
be
I feel
honest,
like
if my
that
dad-
makes
Be
a difference.
pre-internet.
If my dad's searching stuff on Google, I'm still pretty impressed.
You're like, if he
Yo,
turned
Dad.
it on.
Yeah, I'm like,
Amazing.
you made to Google and fucking searched for something?
That's cool.
This is oh man.
I'm sure it goes perfectly.
1983.
I feel like that is
Can't
that
see
way
any
to-
problem
Oh,
here.
there's all this cocaine.
Yeah.
I could get that cocaine. I could do
I think
it.
I can sell that cocaine pretty easily. I can just
Yeah.
find people.
Yeah.
I know people
Yeah.
that like
Easily
cocaine.
It was
upload
2
that.
million.
I can
It was
launder the
2.
money.
It actually wasn't cocaine. I'm sorry. It was cocaine money. It was
Oh.
$2 million.
Oh,
Easier.
so that's
Oh,
different.
easier.
'Cause
It was
now
$2
you've
million.
removed the distribution
Right,
step. Now
I'm
you just
sorry.
have to launder the money, which
Uh, Well, here's
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a fucking crazy documentary.
Where can I watch it?
And this guy, like, and I don't want to go.
Where's that available?
No
Matt?
It's on-
spoilers.
it's
I
on
will
Netflix.
absolutely watch
Netflix.
this. Like,
It's 100%
after.
on Netflix. I
Nice.
think
Not a sponsor, Netflix, but you can watch it on Netflix.
right.
You're like, not 99% on Netflix, 100% pure Netflix.
100% pure.
You just gotta
uncut
mainline that Netflix. Sorry.
See, the
Yeah.
problem with moving $2 million worth of cocaine, that as I see it, would be
You're like, from my experience.
well, no, because like I'm trying to think this out. You know.
Ben wears the khaki shorts. As
Real
a-
quick,
as
I
a-
want to show you a picture of the guy.
Okay,
Oh,
show me a
still.
picture of the guy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is my
Yeah.
dad.
There you go. He's
Like-
got the Tommy Bahama shirt. Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
yeah,
somebody's dad? Like, isn't that?
That guy's living the fucking dream.
Yeah.
Looks more like an
Definitely
uncle
something-
type to me.
Look at him.
Uncle. It's the
Yeah.
I love him.
Watch the movie.
So here's
What's
the
the-
thing:
Great.
if you had like $100 worth of cocaine, very easy to sell. You just go to a bar, you find a guy, you sell him $100 worth of
Especially
cocaine.
in Boston. Go to downtown Boston with
Yeah,
all the like
100%.
finance bros. Done. Bathroom immediately.
I would
Like,
say even up to an ounce of cocaine, you're probably okay with that. Anything above that, you're talking like serious time in prison if you get caught. And so
yeah.
if you're just like a random person who shows up and you're like, hey, would you like to buy $10 million worth of cocaine? They're going to think you're a Fed instantly, or they're going to think you're an idiot, right? But
Well,
either
or
way,
you're like impinging on their territory. And this is the other, that's, I think, the main risk, right? Is if you're trying to move that much cocaine.
Oh, I'm
gonna
rewatching Breaking
end up-
Bad.
Yeah, you're going to end up like starting to eat
Yeah.
your way into other people's markets. And
It's
then,
the Heisenberg principle.
Not if
Yeah.
you give
is
them
what they
a,
call it. Yeah.
not if you give them a cut. You'd be like, here,
well,
here
that's
you go.
true. But I mean, see, then you're so intertwined, you cannot extricate yourself from that situation very easily after that point, right? Because you're like, you know,
I'm the
if
one
you-
who knocks.
what if you just made your money from all the money you would save from not buying cocaine ever? Then you're like, I've got $2 million worth of cocaine. And you just throw the best parties. Everybody loves you.
Exactly.
You're like, you fucking give out
Yeah.
great presents. Right? I just think like with $2 million worth of cocaine, you could get a lot done in your personal life.
Yeah.
Like
you
if you,
could
are you
climb
saying
a lot
if
of
you did the
ladders.
cocaine?
No, yes.
Yeah,
like
you
if
give
you
it as
did it
gift.
slash
Yeah.
give it out to the right people, I feel like at the end of the $2 million worth of cocaine, you could have climbed into like a vice president or a senior vice presidentship somewhere
Yeah.
if you did it right.
oh,
But then you're out of
undoubtedly.
cocaine.
Oh,
In
But
the
then you're out of
finance,
cocaine.
in the finance sector, like absolutely.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
on multiple dates with like finance bros who just like will be like, want to bump? And I'm like, no, I don't know you. Like, this is
Yeah.
a first date. What are you trying to do right now?
We're in
Trying to stay awake.
Anyway, yeah, I'm like, I don't, yeah. Anyway.
Tokyo Market opens at 3 a.m.
Take your
Gotta go to
cook
the
money and put
gym.
it into AMC. Just do it.
That's right.
Promise it'll work
Stonks. Stonks.
I'm a proud owner of 0.9% of AMC share, so I got free popcorn for it.
Nice.
I own what was $80 worth of Dogecoin, which I bought a while ago as a joke, which then went very far up and then has dropped
Apparently,
almost back down to zero.
precipitously
That's the market.
it crashed. In recent-
Whatever. It was $80
Yeah.
bucks. It was a fun ride.
You gotta hodl that shit all day, every day.
Now is the time to buy more. That's what they say.
I
That's right.
I have been considering it whether or not to get into the just for fun. Actually, one of the people who invented blockchain was in my fellowship cohort this past year, and it's really funny to see her talk about it because she's like, this was not at all what I intended for like proof of work. This is
Wow.
absolutely, and like NFTs, we had a very long conversation about NFTs, and she was like, definitely not what I had in mind as an application for this technology.
Yeah,
That is one
NFTs
thing
are
I do not
weird.
understand.
I don't understand them at all.
Yeah,
No.
it's. I mean, I think that most of the people engaging with the NFT sector do not understand what's happening. It's just a very in vogue thing to do, and if you have like capital to just burn, then hey,
the
it might be
only-
fun.
The only thing that I understand, that, because an artist friend told me about this, because I was trying to figure them out, was they were like, if I draw like a digital doodle that's really fucking cool, back in the day, all I could do was like sell it through the app store and make like 3 cents if somebody bought my
Mhm.
sticker pack or whatever. But
Yeah.
now I can put it out in the market, set my own price, and if somebody wants to pay for it, they're going to pay for it, and then they can use it everywhere. But I don't quite understand how like
Well, that's the thing is it. I mean, it depends. There are a lot of different ways in which people engage with NFTs. So some people sell the actual image file itself, and like you can get a code to access that image, that digital image file. Some people just sell this like metadata associated with the image. So it's as if like you bought a painting in a gallery, but it has to stay in the gallery. But you just
Sounds
have
like
like
a
the
ripoff
deed.
to me.
You have like the deed to it, you know, and you're like,
So
look,
weird.
look
Like,
at
you
this
can-
piece
you
of
can
paper
stand,
that
you can stand in
You're
front of that
like-
picture and be like, that's mine.
that's fucking mine.
It's like a
bitch.
star
Yeah.
or like a child in a third world country.
Don't look at it.
Non-visible child.
I feed this kid.
Yeah.
On a nickel a
Me
day.
and, me and
Like,
Suzanne
this is the
Summers.
crocodile that I fostered through the World Wildlife Foundation.
You
Yeah.
see this
So-
highway? It's mine. It's my child.
I
Look up at the
adopted it.
sky.
I
You see
adopted
the
this
third
highway.
star over there? I own that
I
star.
own that star.
Oh.
Oh, so anyway, that's basically the equivalent. Although it's like super bad for the environment, terrible. Because
Yeah.
again, with this like proof of work concept, like basically it all has to be backed up by servers running and burning electricity. So essentially, what's happening is that you're just lighting coal and other types of fossil fuels on fire. Like, it will take probably about a decade for us to get to a place where the amount of energy dedicated to like AI and NFTs and blockchain is sustainable. I mean, right now it's still just all fossil fuels. So they're like these giant server farms. This is why they need those cooling towers, because they produce so much heat that like these giant server farms out in the desert are so hot that they need to have these giant cooling towers to keep them cold.
Well,
And then
I
they,
think
of
that's
course,
just
like
poor
provide a bunch of
planning
noise
where
pollution.
they build it. Like,
Well, the thing is, nobody wants them near their houses because they're so loud. So
should
it's
build
kind of
them
like
in
a not in my
Antarctica.
backyard
Yeah.
situation.
what about the
Yeah.
poles?
Yeah, because we don't have enough problems with like ice caps.
Just yeah.
Oh, fuck the ice
Put
cap.
your
They're
important
But they're not connected to a power grid up there. That's the problem. Is you have to be connected
Put
to a power grid.
up
Bring
there.
it. How hard can
Or
you
Yeah,
get?
put a power. Just put a
Put
power
up the
grid up
grid.
there.
I will do anything for that child.
What about Alaska? Alaska seems like they should be in charge of that.
Fuck those
it would
bears.
be.
Fuck the
Yeah,
bears
you're
in
like,
Alaska.
Anwar, get on the blockchain, Anwar.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm
come
gonna
on.
sell NFTs of polar bears. So,
Oh man,
Oh.
yeah.
they'd probably make more money that way. I'm not lying to you. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's kind of like six and one, half a dozen in the other, in terms of like, can you conserve this territory or can you melt it with all the energy that you're expending?
What if we did it underwater? What if we made like an underwater city?
Actually,
Like Atlantis?
actually, you joke, but Tina, aren't there? There was something somewhere where I was reading. Maybe it was off in California where they are putting some servers. They're
I don't
experimenting.
know that. I need to check that out. That's
Underwater server banks because it is such a
interesting.
controlled, cool environment. Like
Yeah.
it's always the same temperature for the most part, within a couple of degrees, and it's completely naturally that temperature. And yeah,
like
they-
manatees in power plant outlets.
Oh.
yeah,
Manatees love the warm water in like the basically where all the power plants dump their hot water in Florida. I'm learning about this because I'm moving to Florida, and I was like, where can I find manatees?
I
Yes,
love
that-
manatees.
Wow, underwater data centers. This is fascinating. Actually, thank you for this. I need to read up on this for this job that I just got. Like, I need to know all this. So,
All right. Well, there you
yeah,
go. I'll put the link in the
that's
chat
super
there.
interesting. Thank you. I mean,
yeah.
so educational this program is.
This program, I mean, 2MB prides
Look at
itself
us.
on
Look at us.
being infotainment.
Infotainment.
Me
That's
and Kevin
how
are like,
Facts
we
are
got
here.
corn stuck in our face. And then she's
Yeah.
like manatee teaching us about NFTs.
I had an NFT story, but I just didn't want to talk about it. I don't want to get people in a weird mood.
You know, we are here for any and all NFTs. Any and all NFT stories. I was going to try to make a pun out of that. And
It's okay.
And-
If it makes
Yeah.
Grace and Kevin feel better, I understood more of your stories than I did of Tina's.
I didn't even give my like super fun historical story that I had prepared either. Instead, I just talked about shooting porn.
I think you chose
But we
correct.
can all relate to porn.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, that was down there
I
for
am
2
nothing
years.
if not.
Yeah, that was down
a
there for
woman
2
of the
years.
people.
There's the underwater server. That was underwater for 2
This
years.
is super fascinating.
Brandon, of course it
Turns out
does.
dunking data centers is a great idea. Yeah, they
I
sunk it
love this.
to the bottom
I
of
mean,
the Scottish Sea.
The Scottish Sea.
864 servers and 27.6 petabytes of storage,
Yeah.
117 feet deep in the ocean.
How do they
Yeah,
keep the paint on the thing?
that's a great question.
Yeah.
You employ little barnacles to go down there and just like paint it.
I mean, can we just
Wow.
give who is that? Chaim Gartenberg
What a
props
name.
for the
Chaim?
dunking
Good
data
props.
centers.
That's right.
Gartenberg.
Junk.
Kyle?
Those that they're like an Oreo, you know. You just
Yeah.
gotta
Dunking
dunk 'em.
them.
You gotta twist them
Just
apart
dunk
and then you
'em.
dunk them.
That's not how you eat an Oreo. Do you twist both yours off and then dunk them simultaneously and eat
I don't
them?
know. I can't eat Oreos. I'm allergic to Oreos, so
I use so much milk.
Wait, you're allergic to Oreos? Or
I'm
no?
allergic to gluten. But
So,
yeah,
They're
I
not
mean, I'm
gluten-free?
technically not allergic. It's I have celiac disease, so it's
Gotcha. Yep.
Oh, you should fix
My
that.
mom has celiac.
What was that?
My mom has celiac. Yeah.
My
So-
condolences to your mother. When was she diagnosed? This is always a fun thing to find out.
She was diagnosed a while ago, so she was diagnosed early. My mom,
Really?
she was probably
Okay.
diagnosed like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh no,
Um,
but well, that's still. I mean,
I
but
mean,
like,
not-
how old was she?
Right.
She was like,
No, she was in her 60s.
yeah. That's the thing is like they're finding out so many people now who've just like been kind of sickly their entire lives.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, BT Dubs, you have celiac disease.
Cut out gluten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cut out 99% of your diet thus far. Yeah.
Feels better.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works.
Tina, do you want a real quick gluten-free recommendation?
Oh, love it.
Trader Joe's gluten-free chocolate chip cookies are the fucking bomb.
Oh, I haven't had their gluten-free chocolate. So during the holidays, they have mint. They have peppermint JoJo's,
Yeah.
which are gluten-free. So I guess I take that. I have
Yeah.
had like sandwich cookies before, but they're not like.
But these are
brand
like
name
these are
Oreos.
chocolate chip
Yeah.
cookies. They're super
Oh.
thin and
Are
they're super
they're
crispy.
thin. Okay, good to
They're
know.
so
This
good.
is good to know.
Uh,
I just recently found a restaurant in Boston called Capo. Apparently, they actually do like stand up or
Oh, yeah.
open mics. So on Tuesdays, they have 100% gluten free night. So they clean their entire kitchen and their entire menu is gluten free. You can order anything on the menu gluten free. And so every Tuesday, I've been like ordering myself a week's worth of like arancini and risotto and gluten free pizza. And so I just got a delivery on Tuesday evenings of like all the carbs I could possibly want. It's delicious. And
That's
it's
so
very
cool.
good that I
should get my
just
mom
found this
some.
out. They're amazing. I got myself gluten-free tiramisu this evening, so I had a couple bites of that before the show. Feeling good.
You're not going to
So,
sleep for like 6 more hours.
That's
There's
fine.
so much-
Well, you know what? I
so
got to
much
watch this
espresso.
cocaine dad story. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Eat the
Gotta
rest of
stay
it.
up.
Watch it. Yeah.
that's
There's
right.
also
that's
a
right.
great gluten-free baker in Cambridge called Violetta.
Yes, Violetta. Yep, I am there all the time.
Yeah.
They know me.
Yeah.
Order the Tina. Just go in. They've got a.
Oh yeah.
You and my mom have probably spent time in that shop together.
We should be besties.
You probably
Nothing-
should. You probably should.
Nothing brings you together like a dysfunctional small intestine.
Oh, tell me about
Truth.
it.
Truth. Yeah, truer words have never been spoken.
As we know.
Preach.
As we know.
Matt, I mean, I feel like you gave us cocaine, but do
You
you have
gave us
Maybe cocaine. I
cocaine.
don't know.
cocaine? That's
Gave us
the topic
cocaine.
there.
What more do you want me to bring to the party, Ben? I said I'd bring cocaine, and I did.
And
He's
you
like, I
did.
fulfilled my
You did, my
responsibility.
friend. I just want to make sure you don't have another story you'd like
No,
to
I
tell.
colored in my notes on
And
it. I made my,
I love how this nope has progressed over
I
the course
know.
of the night.
I really
you know?
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
It has
bold.
undergone a lot of character development.
well, I'm just
here.
going to
There's
keep
been
this
an
here. I think
evolution.
I'm probably just going to
Yeah.
put this over here and just have that, just in case I need it. You never
It's
know when
important.
you need
You'll
a
need
note
that
sign.
again for sure.
I mean, with shows on this channel.
You never
Yeah.
know.
Well, then
Yeah,
let's get
never
to
know.
our last special guest, MLab. Although you are a surprise guest and perhaps didn't know you were going to tell a story, if you have a story you'd like to tell, now's your chance. Based on
jeez.
what you've heard tonight.
Well, it occurred to me when you asked that I just like, other than the music, I was like, what the hell is the plot of Debbie Does Dallas? So I looked it up.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
as I started reading it, I instantly remembered. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's what happened. Okay, so I'm just going to read you the plot of Debbie Does Dallas.
This is Debbie Does Dallas, the musical, right?
The music, yeah.
Which is the plot of the movie as well, I believe.
Totally
It is the plot of it,
And
yeah.
like, no, it's completely different. It doesn't even take place in Dallas. It happens in Fort Lauderdale. So
I think the musical might not take itself as seriously as the film.
As the
The Academy
film.
Award-winning film Debbie
The
Does Dallas.
film.
So, the most important theatrical event of the 21st century, Debbie Does Dallas, is the modern morality tale told as a comic musical of tragic proportions in the language of rodeo porno football circus. The show is
Wait,
Rodeo
could you read that
porno
again?
football circus.
yeah,
Rodeo,
that's accurate.
Porno football circuit. Say that 10 times fast. Yeah, that's
I need
tough.
to learn that language. It sounds like this is why my career as a porn cinematographer never took off. I didn't learn the language.
You gotta know the
No.
That's it. You gotta know the basics, the very basics.
the terms. So the show is a coming-of-age story of an all-American small-town sweetheart named Debbie Benton. Debbie is the captain of her high school cheerleading team, but she dreams of making it big and becoming a Texas cowgirl cheerleader. When Debbie receives a letter telling her she's qualified for the professional squad, the only thing that stands between her and the realization of her dream is bus fare to the big city. So Debbie enlists her teammates, Lisa, who is who I played. It wasn't Amy. Her name is Lisa. Roberta, Donna, and Tammy all get full-time jobs after school and on weekends to help pay for her trip to Dallas. So all these girls are just trying to help Debbie, like good friends, right?
So selfless. So selfless. Yeah.
So the girls form a company called Teen Services and get jobs. But they quickly realize that minimum wage jobs don't pay enough. Luckily, Debbie's boss, Mr. Greenfelt, has an idea how the girls can raise money in time.
Mr. Greenfelt.
How did they do it?
Well, Debbie tells the girls about Mr. Greenfelt's idea, and they all agree to try their hands at little favors performed with enthusiasm by good girls.
Oh no.
The girls work hard for money through sex, sweat, and tears, and they manage to raise enough money for Debbie to realize her dream.
Okay. Well, that's like the story of me in LA, so I can relate.
Basically,
hashtag relatable content.
How much is a bus ticket?
Yeah, I know, right?
$3.50.
Yeah, they could have done it in a day.
Yeah.
In July, you can get a round trip airline ticket to Iceland and back for $333. So,
remember
how
that
many small favors do I have to do?
Debbie does Reykjavik.
Debbie does Reykjavik.
What is that? What's the name of that new volcano that just opened up recently and is like slowly
You mean
spreading?
Debbie?
It's called Debbie. Debbie.
Debbie Benton.
Oh God!
Wow. What a
well, they do have the phallic museum in Reykjavik. You could go.
That's
do
right.
A lot of filming there. They have the penis museum. That's always fun.
Oh man! And I went to the Big Lebowski bar. I could have gone to the penis
I've been to
museum.
that bar. I've been to that.
It's a great bar.
It's a good bar. There are a lot of really good bars in Iceland, but it's so expensive. The first time I went, it was on the way back from a trip to Europe, and I was just like, oh, I'll do the like stopover thing where they allow you to have like a day or whatever, and they provide you free shuttle bus. Icelandair used to do that. Or no, Wow, that was the airline. Wow. Back when Iceland was like pushing World of Warcraft Airlines. Like orcs on board.
Horde.
Yeah.
What is it? Gorthal is just
Oh man.
is your pilot.
Excuse me, can I get bumped up to Horde class, please?
No.
No, it's just David Thomas on the
Alliance class
pilot.
sucks.
Greetings, passengers.
It's Dave Thomas doing it. Yeah.
Just Gorthal voice the whole time. Oh man. But anyway, I didn't realize that Iceland was like a dry country until like the 90s. And so you can only get alcohol at like state-sponsored liquor stores, and it's marked up like a bajillion %.
No
so like
shit.
it's a bottle of like Yellowtail Chardonnay is equivalent of like $80 in Iceland.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is there like cheap Icelandic booze?
Brennivin is the Iceland, although it's not even that cheap. They do have a couple beers. So they're big on happy hour though. And they actually have an app called Appy Hour where you can go and find where all of the good liquor deals are throughout Iceland.
Fantastic.
And they have happy hour from like
Where's
4
my yes
p.m.
card?
Yeah.
4 p.m. to 2 a.m. is happy hour. Yeah. So anyway, Iceland. But yeah, I mean, they have to like import most of their food. So
I miss happy hour. That's one thing that Boston, like, I
Yeah.
miss really
Yeah.
a lot. I'm not even a huge drinker, but I did used to love going and having a drink and then like basically eating dinner for like,
well,
the
like
price
fun
of
little
beer.
appetizers. Exactly. You get like a nice little flatbread and
Ooh.
you know
Yeah, some
chicken
shrimps on a
wings.
Barbie or something.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it.
Exactly. Nice little noshables.
Love
into
nostrils.
that.
My favorite thing when you go to in Italy, but in Venice, is after work, like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Get that spritz.
Everybody literally goes to their neighborhood bar,
Yep.
and they have a spritz, and then there's finger foods
Yep.
that are basically under the counter, and
They
it's
just
usually
bring
like.
you
Yeah, it's like little flatbreads or like a deviled egg, or like
bruschetta and
bruschetta, some sort. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you just point to it, and you have like your Aperol spritz and like 4 little finger foods that are like €1 each, and you just hang out with people from the neighborhood and talk about the day. It's like the coolest fucking thing.
There's my favorite bar in Venice, like doesn't even have a name. Like there's no name. It's not even on the map. Well, first of all, it's so easy to get lost in Venice.
Dude, Venice is like Hogwarts. That's what I say. It's like you walk somewhere and the fucking alley turns. It's insane.
Yeah. No,
Where do they make the sausages? The little Vienna sausages.
Venetian sausages.
The Venetian sausages.
It's Vienna. I think a completely different country.
In Austria.
In Austria.
Oh, that poor guy. He came all the way there.
Where's that note sign? Pull it up.
Sorry, I'll see my profile.
Oh, no, there
Yeah.
It's back.
I'll have to zoom in from a spritz o'clock when I'm in Rome this fall. We'll have to do this. It'll be like 2 a.m. I guess it won't be spritz o'clock. It'll be
it's always spritz o'clock. I'll have an
That's
Aperol
true.
spritz
That's
with you
true.
whenever. I love
That's true.
Aperol spritzes.
I
They're
do
my
too.
favorite thing in the world.
I'm very glad that like Aperol expanded into the US and started selling, because I remember, so I think my first trip to Italy was in 2012, and like you could not get Aperol in the US. It was very hard to find in 2012.
Yeah.
Like you could only get it at, this was in Southern California. We didn't have it. Like Trader Joe's would get it. Like, yeah, again, I realize Trader Joe's doesn't sell Aperol here, but they did in Southern California.
God.
For like 1 week. They would have Aperol for 1 week, and then they would be out for the whole summer. And it was, yeah, there would be lines at like the Silver Lake Trader Joe's to get Aperol.
I love Trader Joe's so much.
Trader Joe's not a sponsor, but Trader Joe's. So yeah, for those who don't know, Aperol is like an orange.
I will be right back.
Yeah, she's gonna go get it. It's actually.
I was like, I bought the snacks at the movie.
It's actually something called an Amaro, and an Amaro is an Italian liqueur that is bitter. It's usually made from different things and has different. There it is. And so Aperol is actually on the sweeter side of the Amaros, and it is orange flavored, and a spritz is Aperol and seltzer or soda water, and
Prosecco.
then Prosecco, and then a splash of that. Yeah.
That sounds good.
It's very, very refreshing because like nobody has air conditioning there, so it's quite
midday.
Warm.
Yeah, you just
very,
have an
very
Aperol
refreshing
spritz.
drink. Yeah, spritz o'clock, man.
The best.
Oh, it's very, very yummy.
Yeah.
Dangerously yummy.
I pretty much will have one wherever I go now. Like if it's hot during the day, like that's just like
well, and I mean it's super light. Like it's only 11% alcohol, so like it's not heavy at all. So when you
like
end up
2
watering
beers.
it down, it's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, we lost MLav.
Oh no!
I don't know where she went. She's like, I gotta go get an Aperol spritz.
Yeah, she's like, I need a spritz.
Fair. I'm now sitting here. I'm like, oh, I should have an Aperol spritz while
It's
I watch
spritz
that
o'clock,
cocaine-
Tina.
while
Do
I
it.
watch that
Fuck.
cocaine movie.
MLab just pops up in
Spritz
that behind that
with my
purple curtain.
tiramisu.
and just-
Yeah.
Big Aperol.
Well, it's funny that MLab took off because we have reached the end of the show. And so MLab was just jumping the gun by about a minute. She couldn't wait to watch that cocaine show. She just had to do it. So I want to thank all of my guests for hanging out tonight and talking and just shooting the shit. We talked about God, pretty much everything. I love it. Oh man. So Grace, Kevin, Tina, Matt, thanks so much for being here and hanging out. MLab is back. Hey, MLab.
There she is.
Just in time for
I wasn't failing, I promise.
Just in time to say goodbye, my friend. We appreciate your hopping on, and what a lovely surprise. Thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure.
This was a lot of fun.
Do you remember the musical you're writing tonight and tomorrow? Into
That's
tomorrow.
right. That's right.
Do we remember what
the Young Doctors in Love.
Young Doctor?
Yeah.
Young Doctors in Love.
Yeah, and I'll reach out to everybody here and everybody watching about a viewing party for Young Doctors in Love because it sounds like
I'm so
I've
here
got
for
an
that.
outdoor screen, and maybe that'd be a good backyard
Yes.
movie.
Yes,
Might be a
love that
Discord thing.
so
we could do it
much.
on. We could do it on our
That'd be really
Discord.
fun.
I will bring.
Really
I will
fun.
bring the Aperol.
Oh my God, Tina! Now you're speaking my language.
I'll be
all
making
right,
spritzes
friends.
for anyone who wants one.
Until next time, that's what was going on. Thanks. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Good night.